Hello, good afternoon. My name is Steve Richards. I'm going to go to the mainland. I'm assisting the History 2 class, and I'm going to tell you about Bill Gates. Bill Gates was a magnate and a predominant businessman of this period because he managed the business of the software very well. That he became one of the most wealthiest men of this history. I was telling my friend before, is that he became a billionaire at the age of 31. So when he created his company, Microsoft, he was only 19 years old. He was very young. I mean, it's like, imagine like the jump of 19 to 31 years old and become a millionaire in the period of 10 years. Like, so, like, impressive. He was so brilliant. But let me talk about his family. His father was William Henry Gates. He was a prominent lawyer of Seattle, Washington, and his mother was Mary Maxwell Gates. She influenced his life because through her that Bill Gates, met oh my lord, John Roberts Opel. He was the CEO and the chairman of the IBM. Why this is important? Because IBM was one of the most important companies of computers at that time. I mean, they built like excellent computers and they were very popular. So let me talk about a little bit of his childhood. Bill Gates. He was very enthusiastic. He was very smart. He always tried to be the best, and he always wanted to win. He assisted the Lakeside Seattle Preparation School. It's in that school that he met Paul Allen. Paul Allen was his partner, and both they create Microsoft Corporation on April 4th. Let me see, April the 4th of 1974. So they first they create like a software they call Traf-O-Data. They built this software for the traffic companies around Seattle just to control the traffic, and they made a profit of $20,000. This is the big business they did at that time. But $20,000 at that time, and just for building a software, I mean, it's pretty amazing. After that, they saw like this Altair computer. They call it the Altair 8800. This computer was revolutionary because at that time many of the computers were used on, like NASA. They were doing these launching rockets to the moon and everything. So they built this computer. So this is going to be the first portable computer. That is going to be like a square like this, but that computer was the first portable computer. So they realized that they see like this device is going to revolutionize the world, because they give access to manipulate the code. So actually they did one software for this device. They call it the Altair Basic. And the main point of this is that they never have the device in front of them. They just build like an interpreter of that language, and when they tried it on that computer, it worked with no problem. So they were like brilliant, like every exact code. I mean, they did it like very, 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 very good. So, but they confront like one of the biggest problems of that time, and was that people can buy hardware. This computer was priced, like I saw in the article, $2,000. For that time, probably it's going to be kind of expensive. So he realized that many people were stealing the code. many hobbyists, many geeks, many smart kids, they try just to do their own. And he said, hey, wait a minute, don't steal my code. This is mine. I'll build it. I mean, I spent like a lot of time doing this, and what you're stealing. So he wrote this open letter to the hobbyists saying that, I want to quote, hardware must be paid for, but software is something to share. Who cares if the people who work on it get paid? Is this fair? Yeah, he was kind of mad about people stealing his creation. So because of that, he started thinking more like a businessman. Like I told you before, when he met this IBM CEO, John Opel, they were creating a computer to compete with this Altair, because IBM was the biggest company of computers of that time. So they tried to don't stay behind, but they create this hardware but didn't have the software of so they asked Bill Gates to put the software on those computers. The problem was that in that time the software had to be built for every hardware. It's gonna be like specific. If you want to build like software, had to be built for this type of hardware. He didn't have that software in hand, so he thought about an idea to contact this guy. This guy was Gary Kildall. Gary Kildall built a program called the CPM, Control Program for Microcomputer. This software was good because this software could be installed on multiple devices, multiple hardware. I mean, they have like a high compatible with every hardware. So he tried to contact him and tried to say, hey, do you want to sell this software? Do you want to give us like a license to use it? But the problem with Gary Kildall was that he did not agree with them for a non-disclosure agreement. So he take too much time thinking about it, and Bill Gates was like, okay, I give up. I'm gonna waste time. So I wanna create one with my own. I will get one. So then he bought a software for $75,000. The creator was Tim Patterson. He was working on the Seattle Computing products, and he built this program called the QDOS. It's for Quick and Dirty Operating System. This program was kind of a plagiarized copy of the Kildall program. So he said, okay, this is gonna be the same one. Forget about Kill. I have the same copy. So he bought it for $75,000, and he manipulated to do like a Microsoft version, and he called it like MS-DOS. So when he bought this program, he just ripped off all the the CPM, like for copyrights, I guess. He ripped off all the stuff for CPM or QDOS, and he named this new software the MS-DOS. He was very intelligent because he tried to solve the program software for the IBM, but he didn't give them the exclusive rights for that software. He just selling the license. So for every computer they made, or for every computer they sold with that software, IBM have to pay Microsoft a small portion of that computer. So it's how he was escalating his wealth very quickly. Also, he never signed in the agreement like this is gonna be exclusive for IBM. So boom, another idea. So I can do this for another companies. They competitors. So if they can compete each other because they were making hardware. I'm doing software. Who was doing software at that time? And he was getting his software was getting popularity so quick. It's like it doesn't matter if you fight with you. This company on the other one. I just care about my software and sell this license and boom. And here's what he did. Boom. Like many companies were like MITS, like Micro, forgot his name, but whatever. MITS, Intel, Osborne, Xerox. Some of those companies at that time, like they were making computers, so he took advantage of that. Bill Gates was selling the license for those companies. Sorry for Gary, because later on he tried to, compete with Microsoft, and later on he became an alcoholic, depression, and he died in the fight at the war. You know how sad. He could become the Bill Gates, but he lost that opportunity. Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. so like I was telling you, his business grew so quickly. By 1980, his earnings was like $12 million, and by the 1983, 30% of all the computers around the world have Windows software installed. So quickly. Then, through the years, 2 more years, 1985, his earnings were 140 million. You see how quickly he was jumping, like escalating so quick. So he was very brilliant in doing this business of the software. He also get partnered with Steve Jobs during that time. Steve and Apple. He was the CEO of the Apple, and he invited him to help him with creating applications for the new Macintosh. This new computer, the Macintosh, was very revolutionary because this computer brought the graphical user interface. Before, people have to type commands. With this new Macintosh, give the users the ability to use the mouse. This is where Apple was introducing the mouse. So he saw like a very opportunity of this. I mean, this is impressive. This is like wow, really. So he even told Steve Jobs like he had to license that program. You know, like you have to. This is gonna be your, how can I say, the hang of the gold eggs. So, but Steve Jobs never paid him attention. He just was focused on selling computers. Boom, another idea. Okay, if you don't want to take advantage of it, I can use it. He used it, and he created his version of Windows. They call it Windows 1.1. Supposed to be, it's going to be the first Windows. Then Apple tried to sue Microsoft because they said like you're doing plagiarism, you copy our software and blah blah blah. And when Microsoft was on the court, they say like Bill Gates was saying that despite of the similarities between the Windows and the Macintosh, they were very different. I mean, they have like a different languages and different things. So he won that case. Oh my god. I don't know if I'm doing too much. Okay, also this started Bill Gates have to confront like many lawsuits because people were against him. They were saying like you copy our software, you steal our information, you plagiarism our everything. So he go through all this process. Even the federal government sued him because he was doing like I don't know if you heard about the news, like he was creating this monopoly. So by the 1990s, like around 95% of all the computers around the world have Windows installed on them. So that's why the government started suing Microsoft because of this. But Bill Gates was saying that, okay, if you bought this program, you bought this software, you install it on that computer, I can avoid people to buy my software just because it's better. It's like this people's decision is not mine. I just sell it, people buy it. It's like he won that case, and then he experienced like many cases through the time. One case was the Internet Explorer with Netscape. The problem with that was with Microsoft. Initially, he used the Netscape for the Internet Explorer, but then he realized that he could build his own creation, and he called it Internet Explorer. So he take the Netscape out, and he installed the Internet Explorer. How can I say this? Okay. Okay, through the years, Bill Gates met Melinda French. Melinda French was intelligent woman. He served for the Microsoft Corporation. Uh, he got like a bachelor's degree in economics at Duke University and MBA in the Fuqua School of Business. They got married on January 1st, 1994, and they have three kids: Jennifer, Roddy, and Phoebe. I don't know. Okay, after he got married with her, they started living with this philanthropic style. So, because they were the wealthiest couple in the world, they have like they have billions and billions and billions. That even for they reached like 50.7 billions dollars. So they start creating these organizations, foundations like a Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation in 2000. They were focusing on the giving away computers to schools, trying to donate money for programs like for medical research, farming projects, Alzheimer, and many other things. Some of those programs were the Global Vaccine Summit, United Nations high-level event to polio, and launched Next Generation for Learning Challenges. So, concluding that Bill Gates was an important man, a brilliant man of the history. He changed the business game, and he became one of the wealthiest men in the history. Okay, bye.